Item 5B1C, resolution overriding the disapproval of the county executive resolutions 514 of 2014 of the Legislature of the County of Rockland, appropriation of budget items for 2015 in whole and with respect to each and every line item contained therein, and I so move.
Moved by Mr. Grant, seconded by Mr. Jobson. On the question. Sorry. Mr. Kantrowitz, on the question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This being my last meeting as a member of this legislature, I just want to take an opportunity to say a few words and a few thank yous, because I have a feeling after this vote this room may empty out. I want to thank the entire legislative staff. I want to thank my colleagues on the legislature for welcoming me early this year and making me feel at home during my brief tenure sitting in this seat. I appreciate both the friendships that have developed and the working relationships that we've established, in the short period of time that I've been here. And I want you all to know up here that I will remain an ambassador for this body and the community, because it's abundantly clear to me that most people in Rockland have no idea what this legislature does. And if by some unfortunate occurrence they get knowledge or pay attention to something they may have read from the county executive on Facebook, they're going to get complete misinformation. I have found that the votes by this body, day in and day out, no pun intended, have been overwhelmingly unanimous. And even the so-called politically hot issues were either unanimous or overwhelmingly bipartisan, certainly not split on party lines. If you believe what you see on social media, you'd think we were at odds over everything, that we couldn't stand each other, and I haven't found that to be the case here at all. Even the issues that become politically charged they became so only because the county executive put his spin on it for his personal agenda, whether it was a Republican proposal about buses or unanimous support for clarifying the role of the county sewer code, or even the thoughtless budget that the county executive proposed, which this body fixed. My math again, 80% of the Republicans, 90% of the Democrats voted to pass it and to override it. Through social media, Mr. Day turned issues on their head, and he often made something out of nothing, really distracting the community, distracting the people from the fact that in 10 months, he couldn't put a reasonably thought-out budget together because he was too busy campaigning against the sheriff, against the legislature in the entirety, against me specifically, and in support of his son for Congress. I hope that as a group, and when I say a group, I'm talking about this group and this group out here, I hope as a group you all work together at least to get the word out that this body as a whole is not irresponsible, it's not wasteful, and has not put politics ahead of people. Whether you're able to convince anyone that those characteristics are evident across the hall is not as important, as long as they know that the problem is not here. The common thread, you've heard it tonight, running through all the negative press this year, has been the result of outright misrepresentations by Ed Day. Misrepresentations which continued over the last week when he reported that this legislature's budget overstated revenues. We didn't touch his revenues. Did he apologize for the mistake? Did he even acknowledge that he made a mistake? Did he give credit to us for working harder and reducing taxes further than he did and staying under the cap when he didn't? No. He made further politically motivated cuts to the Sheriff's Department, cuts which are clearly political payback at Sheriffs Kralik and Falco for not being Big Ed Day worshipers. Then he cuts... Then he nitpicks picks off some small agencies that we heard about, the not-for-profits that he thought maybe he could get away with. And then he cuts over, and that'll be political fodder next year, right? But then he cuts over $200,000 from Rockland 21C, which you heard Legislator Cornell speak about. Another cut that hurts only the most needy and specifically children. And then he goes on to blame the legislature that we're going to be raising taxes, which is so ridiculous that if I didn't see it with my own eyes or hear it with my own ears, I would not have believed it to be true. Where's the sheriff? He was here a minute ago. Sheriff Falco, it's been an absolute pleasure. There he is. and a privilege to work with you this year. My service on the Public Safety Committee really was a great learning experience. To my friends in law enforcement and the nonprofit community who are here today, thank you for your passion and your involvement, but you can't stop now. Use your newfound united voice to help those that helped you when the time comes next year. And use your united voice to make clear who was responsible for the weeks of uncertainty over the future of your jobs or your organizations. Finally, to those who supported me this year, those who gave me a chance to help repair Rockland, I say thank you for your expression of confidence. I believe I made a positive impact through my contributions to discussions here, the resolutions, and the local law that I sponsored and we passed. I cannot honestly say that I'm going to miss all the meetings. I can't say that I'm going to miss all the political nonsense. I can't say I was very good at the political maneuvering that was discussed today. Maybe if I was better at the sleight of hand and the underhanded tactics, maybe I'd be here next year, but that's just not me. But I will certainly miss the people up here, Democrats and Republicans, the people out there who've come out the last few weeks. The first 9 months, this place was a ghost town. It's good to see you here. I want to wish you all a happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, a healthy, happy, and prosperous New Year. Thank you.
Okay.
You can tell my mother I got a standing ovation.
Okay, again, folks, we're still on the question.
Mr. Schoenberger?
All